Oh, yes, the elections are fast approaching in Kogi and Bayelsa State, and we have someone right now to help us look at the issues. Our next guest is Rowan Okpanachi, who is a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, you have seen there will I say, I'm very, very unsure of how to say this, but this is the swearing in of the new deputy governor in Kogi State. Now, a lot of lawyers have cried out. The papers are saying, I'm just looking at this now. Let's look at how the papers cut the story this morning. They say outrage as Onoja replaces Achuba. It's illegal, that's according to MBA. This day is very dramatic and very strong in its own wording. It says, in brazen assault on the Constitution, Kogi swears in new deputy governor. That's how they couch the story this morning. What's your take on what is happening in Kogi State?
Thank you. Let me take it from what these days newspaper said, that it was a brazen assault on the Constitution. I think it is an understatement. It is a violent rape of the Constitution. The charade that took place yesterday, in my mind and in the eye of the law, cannot be regarded as a valid inauguration of a deputy governor. He remains a puppeted deputy governor. He's not the deputy governor of the state. The legitimate deputy governor of the state is Elder Simon Ashuba, in view of the provisions of the Constitution. He has not been impeached. He is still the deputy governor, and he should be seen and regarded as the deputy governor. And I encourage the press people to also refer to him as deputy governor and refer to the impostor as purported deputy governor. What happened yesterday was not just in nullity, it was illegal, it was unconstitutional, and it was a violent, like I said earlier, rape of the Constitution. It is unprecedented, and it is a bad precedent that must not be allowed to stand. Otherwise, our democracy is heading to doom. Because as far as we are concerned now, constitutionalism and democracy is about to be murdered in Kogi State. And
how does this affect the environment in Kogi State? I remember that I spoke with a senior advocate of Nigeria yesterday, Oluwadeburuwa, who was saying that, you know, he is very worried about what it might have for the political environment in Kogi State as the elections approach.
Yes. Every reasonable and decent person must be worried as regards what is happening in Kogi State. And I agree with you, it's going to have a, negative impact on the election or the political atmosphere in Kogi State as we move towards the 16th of November 2019 election for Kogi State. What happened yesterday, to me, there's nothing that the Yaya Bello and co can win or gain from this. Rather, they have a lot to lose from what transpired yesterday. And it has also rekindled a lot of anxiety in the state because so many people are feeling that what happened yesterday should not be allowed to stand, and it's going to have impact on the election.
But we are yet to hear any voices from Kogi. I mean, nobody seems to be speaking up. It seems that the people of Kogi State are okay with it.
No, the people of Kogi State are suppressed. They're intimidated. They have been coerced into submission, and that is what we are saying. So, and again, they don't have access to the public. They don't have access to the press, and that is what is playing out. If you go to Kogi State, what you are hearing outside is not a true reflection of what is going on in Kogi State. There's serious discontent against what took place yesterday, against the purported impeachment of the legitimate deputy governor. There's serious discontent against even the performance of the person that is beheading this impeachment. But people will speak on the 16th of November. That is when you know that Kogi people are not happy with what is going on. But since they don't have the access to the public, those who have access to the public can parade anything or deceive the public. On the 16th of November, Kogi people will speak loudly and boldly as regards whether they are comfortable with the status quo or they are yearning, they want a change.
Well, that's what's happening in Kogi State. What about Bayelsa? What should we be looking to see? I mean, the parties have had primaries, the two major parties, the APC and PDP, have had primaries. The APC has also constituted, I think, its national campaign committee to support local campaign efforts in Bayelsa State. What do you think the atmosphere is like, and what do you hope will play out come November 16?
Come November 16, like in Bayelsa, let me be very frank with you. What is playing out in Kogi State is technically playing out in Bayelsa. That is to say, you want to become an emperor because you are a governor. particularly as regards to PDP. I see an exchange on the 16th of November. I see the PDP, loss being APC's win, vice versa. So what is happening in Bayelsa, for instance, as APC is more on ground in Bayelsa now. Even in Kogi State, APC is very popular in the east, in the central, not like that in the west. But the candidate is unpopular, and people are not going to vote in line with political party this time. They are going to focus on individuals. So you are going to see a situation whereby even members of the APC will ditch their candidate because he is not an acceptable or an accepted candidate. So, like I said earlier, you are going to see what is going to happen on the 16th of November. Then in Bayelsa, you're also going to say, because there is serious discontent against the governor of Bayelsa State because of the way he managed the whole situation. Not even the former president is happy with the situation.
The primaries or what?
The primaries, the way he managed the primary. You can see that some people resigned from his cabinet because of the way he managed the primaries, and even the choice of the deputy governor, and even the crisis that took place in the State House of Assembly. All these things, point to the fact that all is not well in the camp of PDP in Bayelsa State. As regards APC, they also have their own problems, but they have an advantage that Dixon and PDP don't have now. They have the federal support, and the people of Bayelsa are thinking that it's an opportunity to connect with the federal government, and they have their main man who, in his own wisdom, decided not to run this time, but to work from behind and ensure the victory of APC. So I see
Who's the main man?
that is the present Minister of Petroleum, former Governor Terry Silva. So, and when you look at the caliber of persons that have shifted camp of recent, it's a pointer to the fact that APC may have the day in Bayelsa, but that may not be the case in Kogi State. That is my own humble opinion, anyway.
Well, as you said, it's your opinion. I think that eventually it is the people who decide, who they want to occupy government house come the election dates that have been stated. But let's focus a little more on Kogi right now. You have said that you don't think that the candidate of the APC is popular, even though you say the party is popular. How is that even possible? Because the incumbent is of the APC, and if the party is popular in his state, some people will attribute it to him being, popular as well.
No. You see, the last election, if you want to use it as a yardstick to judge the popularity of the party, you can say, yes, the party is popular because of the seats they won and whatever. The popularity of APC in Kogi State is not as a result of the effort of the governor. It's because of, one, the acceptance of the president in the state, and two, the fact that the party is in charge of the national government. And so you have individuals within the party who are not pro-governor but are pro-Buhari and pro-APC. So then,
but the governor is pro-Buhari. I mean, he is very pro-Buhari.
There is political interest. There is political interest. You can see that before the primaries, prominent sons of the state were disqualified from APC primaries. You understand? And all of them seems to be, pretending that they are okay with the situation. But you are going to see what is going to play out because the situation was not well managed. You cannot disqualify somebody that rose to the rank of admiral, who became chief of naval staff in this country. He said he was not qualified to contest the election. It was an embarrassment. It was an insult that was not taken lightly by people who believed in him. The man was very popular in his own rank anyway. So you have a party that is popular, but you have a candidate that is not popular. And you are going to, so it's not new. You saw what happened in Bauchi State. You saw what happened in Adamawa State. The party was popular, but the candidate was not. Even members of the party were part of those that worked together to edge out those governors. And you are going to see a repeat of that in Kogi State. And the only thing they are doing now, which is very alarming and which the government must step in to arrest the situation, is this, the fear they're instilling in the people that the election is going to be violent and that they have armed so many people and whatever. I don't want to be carried away by that intimidation or fear. What I know is that there may be crisis before the election, but on the day of election, if what happened in other states, particularly in Ekiti State, in Osun State and other states is to be reckoned with. Therefore, means we are going to have peaceful election on the day of election, and people should look beyond the issue of violence and focus on other areas that their vote could be tempered with.
Would you say, though, that the PDP, the main opposition PDP, is coming out, in full force? Would you say that their house is together enough to actually give the APC a run for its money?
No, their house is not together. They have, admittedly, they have crisis in their destiny. And let me tell you something. PDP has no goodwill in Kogi State, to be sincere with you. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm just being fair and sincere with you. Are you getting it? PDP has no goodwill in Kogi State before this time. APC, like I told you, has tremendous goodwill.
Not even with stalwarts like Dino Melai in the PDP, who seem to be very popular. I mean, he was the only senator, even though that is being disputed right now, and they have asked them to go back to the polls. But from the elections that were conducted this year, he was the only PDP senator who returned to the National Assembly on the platform of the PDP.
Yes. But from the judgment of the court, it's clear now that the election was not won freely and fairly. But like I told you before, APC is on ground in Kogi East and Kogi Central. But PDP is more popular in Kogi West, and that is where Dino came from. And Dino won his election not because of his person, but because of his opponent, that Smith Adeyemi, and other, internal issues.
What's wrong with his opponent?
No, they came from the same place. The senatorial district is divided into three: Lokoja, Koto, Kababono, and his own side. So the arrangement was that it should be rotational. Other side, they have done it. It came to their own point. Smart did it once. Second time, he wanted to go for a third time. People say, no, it's not good. I brought it, Dino. This time around, he came. People look at it that you are going for a third time. Instead of that, let us give Dino a chance. Then, coupled with the lack of, the failure of the present government, you understand, in touching people's life, because people of the Southwest, whether you like it or not, they are very sophisticated, and they gave it to APC by electing Dino and other persons from that region. And so that is something. So you are now going to have
APC, it's PDP.
No. So you have PDP. The PDP force now is not all about the party. It's all about the desire of the people to rescue themselves. And they have said that there's no any other platform other than PDP to rescue themselves. And that is why they are going out to rescue themselves and even rescue PDP. You understand? So it's not all about the party, the fact that PDP is popular or not. And whether the crisis in PDP is resolved or not, they may still win the election, because the most important factor in every election is the people, and the people are ready to rescue themselves. And there's no any other platform other than PDP as a voyage of, the rescue mission. So that is just something. So it's not about PDP popular. So this election that is coming, to be sincere with you, it's not going about political parties or whatever. It's going to be based on whether the present regime has performed or not, and whether there should be a shift. That is what is going to happen. Civil servants who have not been paid are not happy. If you go to the state capital...
Yeah, but there question, there talk now, or there is talk now, salaries have been cleared January to September. And that is just the arrears of 40% to 60%. And then those who talk about the local government, that those at the local government level have not really been settled. But
no, you see, they are just playing to the gallery. They're just playing. You see, the civil servants are going to speak very clearly on the day of election. Civil servants are not happy, and everybody is affected. When you get to local, the state capital, there's no good road in the state capital, and everybody is affected. When you go to all the nooks and crannies of the state, you cannot see the presence of government. As I'm speaking with you now, all the primary schools in Kogi State are shut down. They are not functioning. The secondary schools are dilapidated. They are not functioning.
All of them? Are you not just exaggerating?
No, it's not exaggeration.
When you say
now,
all of them?
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. Everything in Kogi State, has collapsed. Before now, judiciary was on strike for more than 6 months. There was a serious attempt to remove the chief judge. What they are doing now is not new. They wanted to remove the chief judge unconstitutionally before people protested. Now, when you get to the State of Assembly, it has been hijacked. It's in the pocket. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, we have Yahya Bello State House of Assembly, not Kogi State House of Assembly.
And you say that you are political. Let's quickly go to Lagos now and take questions from my colleagues. They have questions for you.
Well, that's right. Now, you have talked about the APC and the PDP and the challenges they face, the issues they have in their party. But then Whatever happened to other parties? So the question is, are you saying that this is strictly a two-party race? I mean, whatever happened to other political parties in this race?
Yes, other political parties are not on ground, and if you are, I'm sure you are aware of the fact that about 46 mushroom political parties purportedly endorse the governor. That shows that those parties are not in for the business. They are just there to fill up the space and to get crumbs from wherever they want to get the crumbs from. So the two visible parties in the states are PDP and APC. And the election is going to be won by one of the two political parties. So there's no any other political, there's no alternative as far as Kogi State is concerned. This 2019 November 16 election is concerned. We have two political parties, and they are PDP and APC.
So what does that mean for, the states? Is that good enough in your view? I mean, having just, as it stands now, two options to choose from?
Yes, it's not peculiar to Kogi State. It's not peculiar. Even in the last presidential election, you can testify to the fact that it was just a two-horse race. It was APC and PDP, and in several states, I can't recall any state being won by a party outside PDP and APC. Even in largely in the Senate, all the Senate is dominated by APC and PDP. So as it is, people have reduced their political, political interest to just PDP and APC by implication. So it's not peculiar to Kogi State. It's across the nation. It's across the nation.
Yeah, Mr. Kwanachi, some people have drawn a connection between the president's letter to the Senate seeking approval of 10 billion naira to Kogi State at this time. They have found a way to relate it with the elections. Do you think there is any connection?
Yes, if you consider what happened before 2015 election. Before 2015 election, Kogi State was going for 50 billion as a bailout fund. But it was, people thought that if that money is released very close to the election, that PDP, who was in power then, may use the money for the election. And the federal government was talked into not releasing the money, and the money was not released, and the money was released to the present government, Yahya Bello. 50 billion, and we're still having a problem of salaries and other issues. Then, when you consider the proximity of this one and the release and all the request, anybody who says is political or may be justified. But I want to see it from the perspective that the money belongs to the state. If the money belongs to the states, then the federal government is bound to release it regardless of the period. The period is immaterial. The proximity is immaterial. It is the state's money. So if our governor is responsible enough to use it for the people of the state, good and fine. And if he decides to use it for whatever he wants to use it for, when the time comes, people should be able to, ask questions. So I don't see any problem with releasing the money at this time. There's no better time. If you release the money next year, people will still complain. If you release it, the money tomorrow, people will still complain. So it is the money earned by the state, and the federal government is entitled to release the money, and Kogi State is entitled to, to recover the money, because it is claimed that the Kogi State government spent that money on constructing federal roads. Whether true or false is immaterial.
Well, you are thinking that the incumbent will not win, will not be returned in the polls. Is that right?
I said may
not be.
May.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It is your opinion at the end of the day.
Yes.
What will happen, assuming your predictions don't come true?
Then we'll be back to status quo. I'm only predicted, like I told you, I'm a political. Even as much as I'm a political, I have a political flair or whatever. That is, but certainly not towards PDP as a party. But the truth is,
we have to take a break at this moment. You tell us which parties you're affiliated with when we come back from this break. Please stay with us.
Thank you.
We're talking about the upcoming Kogi elections. Mr. Rowan Okwanachi is still with us. He's a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. Just quickly, you say you have no political affiliations. Do you belong to any political parties?
No.
Do you support any political parties?
Yes.
You do?
Of course.
Which ones?
I must vote for a political party.
You must vote for a political party.
And And I started voting in 2003. And the first and the last president, the only president I've ever voted for is President Buhari.
Oh.
So, and the only...
So you're sympathetic to the APC?
Of course, you can take it
okay, but not the person in power right now. Just wondering quickly, are you confident that INEC will be able to conduct free and fair elections in Kogi State?
Yes. And my confidence stems from the fact that the election that is coming is not going to be entirely conducted by the INEC at the state level. It's going to be supervised by INEC from the national level. If it were to be INEC at the state level, I would say no. But because INEC at the state level is going to be involved, and because the police at the national level is going to be involved, I see a free, fair election, in the offing.
Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Rowan Okwanachi is a legal practitioner and also a public affairs analyst. Well, that's the program this morning. Liz from Abuja, I know that we have a meal to take. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf, just in case you don't come back to me. The crew in Lagos?
Well, just before we go, this information just came. It's an email that came from E. Namani. It says, my bank already charges 20 naira for same bank transaction and 50 naira for other bank transactions when using USSD. This is outside taxes deducted for every transaction. You cannot use USSD on Airtel platform except you have airtime. This has been so for years. So it is obvious that the telco also wants a piece of the pie at the expense of the consumers as usual. Well, this is definitely work for both telcos and banks to deal with.
Right.
Well, that's the show this morning. Thanks for watching. I'm Ayo Makinde.
And I'm Kayode Okikelu. Have a beautiful day.